I want to show you the snake that bites most people in Bali. What we've got in here is a pair of island pit vipers. In Indonesian they just call them ular hijau. In Balinese they call them lipi gadang. They have many common names. In English they're called the island pit viper. So let's get the little male out. You can see straight away that the male is very much smaller. So if I'm very careful and I lift him out here. So shall we go outside and then you can see, let me just close that lid. Safety first. So this is an island pit viper, it's a male. Let's turn him around so you can see. These are really tree snakes. You see the way it holds onto the little stick here. In my mind they are one of the prettiest snakes here in Bali. But they are venomous. They do bite people sometimes. And the reason they bite people mostly is because if I put it down on the ground, you see how difficult it is to see. When they're out at night, they sit down on the ground. Come on. Whoops! They sit down on the ground, and people without lights step on them, and the snake doesn't like being stepped on. Come on now, you go on there. You go on there, gently. Gently does it. There we go. So in the daytime, like we're still in daytime, and when there's sunlight, the snake likes to sleep up in the bushes. Or in people's gardens, they like to hide in the holes in walls. And the other way people get bitten is when people are clearing the vegetation off a wall, and the viper is asleep in a hole in the wall. And when people pull the vegetation off using their hands, the snake feels threatened. It sees the big hand coming for them and it bites them. Some people say it has a triangular head. It's got more of an arrow-shaped head, if that makes any difference, and a very thin neck. These vipers are different from the ones that are most common in Java, because these ones have got red eyes. Let's see if we can turn it round a little bit. Come on. Let's see if we can. So this viper has red eyes. This one is very nice because it has a yellow stripe, a really beautiful yellow stripe behind the eyes. Like I said, this one is a male. They're all pretty much this colour here in Bali, although if you go to the eastern islands you get blue ones. Komodo Island is known for its blue vipers. They're the same sort of snake, island pit vipers, but they really are, they're blue and white underneath. And if you go further east, you go as far as Alor, the vipers can be yellow. There's no antivenom for these for treating bites from these snakes, unfortunately, but the good news is that very often when the snake bites, it doesn't want to eat me, it doesn't want to kill me, it doesn't want to poison me. It just wants to make me go away because I'm too big for it to eat. the snake uses its venom for feeding. These vipers feed on small lizards, small mice, little animals that run about, geckos of course, and another feature of this one is that if you look, it's got a reddish tail, and it being a male, it has a very slowly tapering tail. The tail is like a reddy brown, I guess, and that's what makes it different from the other green snakes here. But you're being very well behaved, aren't you? I will say again, please don't try and do this yourselves. There is no need to hold these snakes with your hands. Another thing you can't see very well on this one, I'll show you another one, and then I shall say more about the way it hunts. This is another island pit viper, but you see, this is a female, and she's much bigger than the male. Let's get her on my grab here. Whoops. No. I have to be a little bit careful. I have to be very careful. But I don't know if, let's turn her head around so you can see this. On each side of her head, she has a little hole round about there, just in front of the eye. Now, that's her heat sensor, so she can hunt, she can see animals like small rats in complete darkness. It's completely dark night, and she will be able to see the snake. It's like infrared vision, which is what it is. So if I put my hand too near to her, which I'm not going to do, she will feel the heat from my hand and she will be able to bite my hand. So I'm not going to put my hand too near to her. She's very fat, so she may be full of babies. That's one of the strange things about these vipers, because most snakes lay eggs. Soft, squishy, long eggs. But these vipers, they keep the eggs, they keep the eggs inside the body. And the babies just drop out of the female fully formed. Now a female like this could give birth to maybe 20 babies. So maybe, just maybe in the next month or so, because we're getting towards November, December, that's when the pit vipers have their babies. And so the babies are born and they all scatter off in different directions. They don't know where they're going to find somewhere safe to hide and sleep and hunt. They don't live together. And so again, November, December, January, you get lots of little baby pit vipers appearing, and they're really hard to see in the long grass or even in the short grass, which is why it's really important that you always use a bright light at night to see them. But she's very well behaved. I don't know if you can see the difference. Again, with her tail, she's got this fat body, which suddenly becomes a short, thin tail. Again, reddy brown tail. But that's the main difference between her and the male. She's much bigger, she's much fatter, and she has a very short tail. Again, these snakes don't want to bite anybody if they're left alone. But again, if you're walking about in the dark and you step on one, it hurts the snake and the snake will bite you. The good news is that a lot of the bites contain little or no venom, because the snake doesn't want to waste its venom on people or on big animals that it can't eat. So if you do step on one, you might be lucky. It's best to go to hospital straight away though, if you are bitten by one, because the effects can be rather dramatic. The venom of this snake turns your tissues, one component of it turns the tissues into like soup. So you get a lot of pain, you get a lot of swelling, and in the end your skin and your muscles will just fall off, which is why it's very important not to tie things around your arm or leg, because if you do that, then the bitten area will go black and the tissue will die. So hopefully nobody gets bitten by these. All you have to do is be careful and be aware and use a good light at night. Be careful where you're putting your hands in the daytime. I found 3 of these in children's toy boxes, where the children's toy box was left outside on the porch in the evening, and the snake was active at night, and in the morning the child went to get its favorite toy out of the toy box and was bitten by one of these pit vipers, which was hiding in the toys. So keep things off the ground, keep things indoors, use a bright light, nobody gets hurt. There are actually many green snakes, many kinds of green snakes throughout Indonesia, and here in Bali there are 4, maybe 5 snakes that could be described as green, but this pit viper is the only one that's venomous. Now, because people think, oh, green snake, they see a green snake, they immediately think that it's one of these venomous pit vipers. So a lot of green snakes, a lot of very useful green snakes that are not dangerous, are killed needlessly by people. It's not a good idea to get too close to any snake to see what sort it is. My suggestion is always, if you respect all snakes, you leave them alone, careful not to tread on them, not to hurt them, not to scare them, then nobody gets hurt. Nobody's going to be bitten by a snake. These snakes don't want to chase people, they don't want to bite people, they don't want to hurt people. But you want to think about what I look like to this snake. I'm a giant. I'm the Rakshasa here. And the snake can't eat me because I'm too big, but it probably thinks that I might want to eat it. She's very sensitive, see? Should we put her down on the ground? She's a very, very big female. They can strike faster than you can blink, certainly faster than you can react. If she's full of babies especially, all she wants to do now is to slide away, hide in a dark place, let her babies develop. But she is a beautiful snake.